The Excalibur quest could possibly be coming to an end very soon, and everyone wants to know what is going to be happening with the 6th rune, so I think I have come up with a few good theories for today's video, so let's jump straight into it today. The one, the only quest here in Dungeon Quest is called the Excalibur quest, and it is one thing that everyone has been waiting for such a long time. Obviously, we have 5 runes that can be unlocked right at this time, but when is the 6th rune coming and what is it going to entail for this massive quest? And I think I have worked out exactly what is going to happen with this quest and what we will have to do for it. So obviously, we have 5 runes so far. You can get the first one in the tutorial by actually just doing the entire dungeon tutorial. You can also get the second one by going backwards towards where the mine was and unlocking the yellow one through that. We have the 3rd rune being the 3 cosmetics rune, which you can get from dungeon specific cosmetics, and you can obtain those by playing at Nightmare Dungeons, and they are a very, very, very rare drop inside of that dungeon. So the next one is going to be the tier 30 boss raid key. So yes, you do have to be level 130 minimum for this one to get the 4th rune, which is the tier 30 boss raid key. You have to own it on your account. You can't just have done a tier 30 boss raid. No. You have to own that tier 30 key on your account. I'm not sure if it gets taken away if you don't have it or not, or if it just locks in once you've already gotten it, but that is a really good thing to look into for the future. And then we have our 5th rune. The 5th rune came with the Orbital Outpost / Easter update because you have to obtain level 140 to be able to obtain this one, and so far that's the highest level you need to be. So in able to get the 5th rune, you're going to have to go through every single map. So desert, winter, pirates, kings, every single map is going to have one little Easter egg inside of the map, which is going to be a glowing egg, and you're going to have to collect those. Like for example, the desert one, if you turn around at the spawn before you even start the dungeon, there is a gap in the wall and you can go through to that and find your first one, yada yada yada. But I do have an entire video dedicated to that one specifically if you guys would like to go and check that out. But what is going to be the 6th rune? What is the giant door in the lobby for? What is the giant crystal above the Excalibur stone Excalibur sword in the stone for? And why is the sword in the stone in the first place? So I've been talking with my friends about what this could mean or what is going to be happening, and we kind of came to a conclusion that Dungeon Quest may have had a storyline this entire time and none of us were aware of it. So obviously, when we first got introduced to Dungeon Quest, there was a wizard's tower that used to be open for everyone, and there used to be a wizard that stood outside of it and actually sold the special enchantments / auras that you can use on your weapons, and they were like what the plasma one, the lightning one, etc., and those were sold for Robux. So interesting. He just kind of disappeared one day. We got a new lobby, and in the new lobby introduced a door, a locked wizard's tower, and we had the Excalibur weapon happening among us. So it's been a year, I think, since the Excalibur quest has actually been launched, and people are very upset that it has taken this long for this Excalibur to actually come to a close, and it looks like it could be coming to a close within the next few weeks. Hopefully we get this rune this next update, and if we get an update this quickly, which would be crazy. I do not think this will include just the new dungeon. I don't know if there's going to be a new dungeon this quickly. I don't even know if they are even working on a new dungeon at this point in time, but we need the Excalibur quest, and maybe the Excalibur quest could lead to a new dungeon because we have an orange rune. This is going to be our last rune, guys. It's going to be a sad story at the end of the day because it's going to be the only quest that Dungeon Quest has ever had, and it's going to be the final rune for it. So my theory is that once we unlock this orange rune, it is going to obviously shake the ground, I would say. And we might even end up getting cutscenes, because I know Vinny has wanted to talk about doing cutscenes for a while and adding in some type of storyline. So, for example, I can see once you have all of the runes, all of the beams of light shatter the crystal above the sword in the stone, which is the Excalibur, and out pops the gem. So obviously we've seen that the door in the main lobby just around the corner is missing a shard for the gem. People say that it kind of looks like the gem in the lobby, but I'm not sure. It could be, it couldn't be. I'm not entirely sure if it's even going to be anything to do with the Excalibur weapon. But if the gem actually does fall after all of the beams of light had shattered it, then we will be able to unlock this door. But if that's how it goes, what will the door hold? Will we have to do another task? Will we have to have a dungeon? What do you guys think will be behind this door? Because I have a few theories as to what it could be. So obviously, the easiest being is we just unlock the door, and then in the middle of the thing is like a pickaxe that we can get, and that's how we can go and pull out the Excalibur Sword of the Stone. Or we open the door, and the wizard is there. You know, the wizard that disappeared from us, the one that has abandoned us in Dungeon Quest. Maybe he is here, and maybe he gives us the power to actually pull the sword out of the stone. Maybe we'll get a special cutscene for that as well. And that's only one thing I've thought of. We also have the possibility of the door opening and even a world boss happening. So obviously we have seen world bosses happen in other games before. For example, in Pet Simulator, they had a world boss in the Christmas area for a few years ago. Oh my goodness, it's been a few years since that. Oh my goodness. But we did have a world boss, and everyone would go and fight that world boss to get a special achievement. So people are thinking that we might even open the door, and for example, a giant comes out of it who has actually been like locking the wizard away or something like that, and we have to fight them in order to free the wizard, who then gifts us the Excalibur weapon as a whole. But then there's other theories that are kind of a bit more difficult, and I feel like it's gonna be one of those. So obviously it could be the easy route and like just a boss like we've had before, but some people are saying a collection book. I know I mentioned this in the last video. People have mentioned the possibility of there being a collection book behind this door. So for example, once you open the door, you're transported to another room, just like in the mine, to do the obby, and a collection book awaits. So for example, you will have to collect a legendary from every single dungeon. So for example, you need the desert, the winter, you need every single legendary in order to unlock something, to free something, to get the Excalibur weapon, or even to unlock a new dungeon. We'll get to the new dungeon bit in a little bit, but people are saying a collection book could be a good thing, because we've had to play this game for about a year, and you have to have played every single dungeon to be able to, you know, get the Excalibur weapon in the first place. So I think, I don't know, I like the idea of having a collection book, because it's something, because it looks like the Excalibur weapon is just a cosmetic at this point in time, but I really wish that it wasn't going to be, but I understand that it's going to have to be a cosmetic, and I've seen a blacksmithing game, I've seen Vinny, and I've seen Joey, and it's always been you know, it's always been a cosmetic. It's never been anything else. I'm not entirely sure if Vinny or Joey even knows what they are doing with the Excalibur quest at this point in time, because every single update, Vinny has always asked me, do you know how many runes there are? How many runes are left? How do you get the runes? So I'm thinking, does he not have a plan yet? Are we possibly going to be making the plans for the Excalibur quest as we are doing this video? Are they going to listen to this video, and are they going to like the suggestions that we give? So obviously we've had a few theories. Now onto the dungeon theory. So everyone has been asking that once the door opens, is there going to be a special dungeon? Obviously, there could be a special themed dungeon just towards the Excalibur quest, and obviously going back to like the lore of how the sword and the stone and everything like that. But then there's other people saying, why don't we have like the ending of Dungeon Quest at this? So for example, we've had quite a few dungeons, and people would like to see a storyline added in. So obviously we had the rumors of Dungeon Quest 2 going around, which is not true. Dungeon Quest 2 is not happening, but it looks like it could be separated into chapters. So for example, how Fortnite does it, they had chapter 1 and now they are on chapter 2, thinking like that, and they have different seasons for each chapter. People are thinking Dungeon Quest may go throughout that route and have it so this closes chapter 1 of a storyline and then opens chapter 2, for example, the giant that we free from the door destroys a town or something and we have to rebuild it, or something along those lines. But what do you guys personally think? I think I would like to see a special dungeon as well as like a storyline being added, because we've had a lot of dungeons. A lot of dungeons don't want to get revamped, and English, come back to me. And a lot of them would like to be added onto in the future. For example, you could expand on every single theme in that dungeon, because they are very vast themes from each other. It kind of looks like we have gone throughout time from desert to now we are in the volcanic chambers, we went to orbital outposts, we've been to space, we've had all of those types of things. So maybe if we combine every single dungeon as like a closing chapter for Dungeon Quest, and then have a brand new chapter like open up, kind of like a rebirth system. So for example, you complete chapter 1 of the story and you can restart over in chapter 2. I don't know, let me know your theories for the Excalibur quest down below. When do you guys want to see this update? What do you guys think will happen in the next update? So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. Also hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video or start the stream, because the Excalibur quest is going to be crazy. We are going to follow this. We are going to give you every single leak that we can, because I want the Excalibur weapon. I know you guys want it, and hopefully more is added in the future for Dungeon Quest. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day or night where you guys may be in the world, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye guys!